Hey, it's me, it's PLD, it's Babu Freak.
And I'm Richard Eric Järvi.
And I'm Matty Gunner, and welcome to Class Action.
The classiest movie show in the interwebs.
The most tired movie show on the interwebs.
It is today.
It does.
It is today.
We are all kind of like a little. We're all dragging ass a little bit.
We've been some busy boys.
Yeah, I know. Jarvy's been battling some stuff. Matty didn't get to battle some stuff, and I've been working pretty much nonstop all weekend. So you get what you get with us today, boys and girls. But
we are here.
We are here. We did get to watch most of the Comic-Con stuff, or at least get to read about it or whatnot. So we got a lot of news to discuss. But we're going to find out what we think about it and some spoilery type stuff that if you haven't searched the deepest of the Marvel webs that maybe you haven't heard from yet. But we will let you know beforehand. Also, good to see you, because every week, good to see you, Krista. And Buckingham, also good to see you, of course, Buck, my boy. I was up really late last night. I want to tell you guys, really late last night. I was actually recording Two Mediocre White Dudes with PJ. And I started at like 1 a.m. my time. We talked about Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers, which is my favorite sequel in the Halloween franchise. I'll tell that right now. My favorite one besides the original. We also spent the first 37 minutes or so bantering. And we actually did a little bit of Comic-Con recap ourselves a little bit too, thrown in there. Of course, we started talking about stuff. And PJ gets on his rides as he does. And I love him for it.
That was going to be my question. I was going to be like, how long is the rant for Two Mediocre White Dudes this week?
It's actually probably our shortest episode, considering how much we love it. There's because the movie itself, Halloween 4, is it's like an 88-minute movie. There's not a lot of flourish to it. It's all pretty straightforward stuff. So it's not like a whole lot to talk about, except for this is sweet, this is sick, they did this well. But we still had a good time with it.
That's one of the retconned ones, right? That's not going to be like in the new. Yeah,
it's retconned.
It's gone
for now. I kind of have this weird feeling. Me and PJ talked about that. We think that after Halloween ends in this year, it's obviously not going to end. It's just ending this current trilogy. Obviously, at some point, there's going to be another Halloween movie. I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to go back to the well for Halloween, for some of the stories from Halloween 4, because of the young actress Danielle Harris, who was introduced in Halloween 4 and was a great child actress, and has been she was also recast in the zombie movies and stuff. And she's still hanging around. I wouldn't be surprised if they threw her a piece and let her
bring back Rob Zombie of the Monsters.
shout out to Rob Zombie for making every movie that he makes look like the same fucking Dracula video that he did in the 90s.
Hey.
The dude is literally like, I'm gonna take how I make music videos and just stretch them out into movies. Because let's face it, that Monsters preview, the Monsters trailer. I was looking at it, I was like, that's the fucking Dracula video with the monsters. That's the 2-lane blacktop video, but with the monsters.
Pretty true. Hi, Kelly. Good to see you as well. Also always great to see you. But yeah, you know what? Let's just dive right in. Obviously, we did have the big San Diego Comic-Con this weekend, and I got excited about a bunch of things, and you guys got excited about a bunch of things. We decided the first thing we'll just go through the trailers that were released, because it's always the most impressive stuff. Not impressive, but the most lasting stuff. I mean, Marvel didn't have a lot of trailers this weekend, and they had a lot of news that will definitely sate our curiosity for a while and get excited about it. But let's get into some of those trailers. I mean, let's start off with the first one right away. The biggest one that I think the biggest one people are talking about. Although first I will say, yes, the trailer was heartbreaking, Kelly. It's funny. I was one of the guys who didn't hate the trailer, because I just felt it was kind of stupid and silly, but I kind of I
still haven't watched it. I just heard Christian and Brett laugh their asses off about this trailer, but
it's I don't know, but I guess maybe even though I'm old, I don't hold the monsters in any real high esteem. So it's kind of one of those whatever. But anyway, let's not talk about that trailer. Let's talk about the trailer from Comic-Con. We're going to first start with Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2. Kevin Feige did get the announcement. He made the announcement that Phase 4 is ending, and it's going to end with Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. We'll talk about the trailer, and then we'll get into some of that pieces of the news. Okay, now see, you guys made those sounds, those orgasmic sounds, and those
You should have heard the sounds that I made when
it wasn't really an orgasmic sound. It was more like a fucking heartbreak.
It was like a serious man crying moment that I had.
and yet I didn't feel barely anything for it.
What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
I mean,
What the hell's the matter with you, man?
I hate saying this. I actually hesitate. I was in this big group chat, and people were like, everybody was like you. Everybody I've talked to has been like, oh God, I cried, I bawled, I was this, I was that. And I was like, okay. I mean, it didn't help that the fact that I was not big on Black Panther 1. That was not one of the things. So like, and I love Chadwick. I think Chadwick was great and everything else. It was interesting. It was fine. I think it was good. I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think anything wrong with it. I did get more excited about the project than I had been. But I just think the trailer, I think the music did the heavy lifting. The music, I'll randomly read about all night.
Oh, the music
no cry into Kendrick's All Right. That was perfectly done, well crafted. I was appreciative of Angela Bassett. Beyond that, it's kind of like, okay, it's good. It's good.
That was what
you guys
got me was Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett saying that she's the queen of the most powerful nation in the world and her whole family is gone. I was like, oh, fuck, because it just shows like no matter who you are, like losing your family. I just like no matter who you are, like the loss of your family, just like it kills everyone, man.
I really should rewatch the trailer, I think, because I was just in the wrong place in my.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready to rewatch
I mean, if you got it pulled up, I'm down to watch it again. But also, can we talk about how I love the switch up that they're doing of switching Namor from Atlantean to Aztec origin?
It's an interesting pull, yeah.
I think that's pretty fucking sweet.
So is there a difference between, I know Aquaman's DC, but like it seems like it's so very parallel.
Well, but DC and Marvel have that the entire time. I mean,
that's true. But you even said Atlantis, so that's also the same origin story.
Well, Hercules is in Marvel and DC.
I mean, didn't DC
Thor is actually in Marvel and DC?
Oh, Thor is in DC.
Not very often, but he has made an appearance.
Plus, like, DC have a Captain Marvel.
Yeah, well, they do. Technically, DC is Captain Marvel is Shazam. They just can't use the title Captain Marvel anymore because of that. I think basically the idea is like, well, Atlantis is a real mythological place that exists outside of comic books. Like without Marvel or DC, Atlantis is a thing that you've heard of. I mean, Indiana Jones had a game, Indiana Jones and the Lost Kingdom of Atlantis or whatever. So I think the idea being that there's a king of Atlantis who comes to land is a pretty basic storyline idea that both DC and Marvel use. One with Aquaman, one with Namor. I prefer Marvel's version, to be honest with you, because Aquaman in the DC is pretty lame overall. I kind of feel. I mean, the movie's fine. Jason Momoa is fine, but the character itself, Namor, definitely have a much more storied history as far as comic books go. Because he has he's a sometimes villain, sometimes hero. He's an Avenger at some point.
If I'm not mistaken, he was the first mutant.
Yeah, that's what they
was in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
His history with Captain America and World War II, on that and the invaders and things of that nature. There's a lot of history there. While Aquaman just talks to animals and that's about it.
Talks to fish.
Talks to fish. I shouldn't say that actually, because I know Aquaman. They have made some great strides.
He more than talks to fish.
Yep.
That's the deep.
There we go.
That's the deep.
Wait, how deep?
That's the deep in the boys, but
it didn't, like, even the music didn't get you PLE. I mean, come on.
The music was the good thing about it, but I kind of felt like the music. Like I said, there's another trailer recently. I can't remember which one it was, where I said the same thing. The music is doing the heavy lifting of the trailer. Like if you didn't watch that trailer without that music, it would have been kind of like okay.
But the music, I feel like the music very often makes the trailer. And I'm going to say, like, one of the reasons why I'm so surprised you didn't like this PLD, and I say this after seeing the trailer now 8 times, this is the greatest trailer that I have ever seen, by far. Period. Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah. So for me it is.
That's fine.
And I was like, first one was Logan for me, and then it was Man of Steel, the first trailer, not the second. I like the first trailer of Man of Steel. And this bypassed those.
See, that didn't even make that kind of an impression on me like that. I kind of like, that's what's weird. And you said I didn't like it. It's not that I didn't like it. I liked it fine.
Mm-hmm.
I just I looked around and going, oh my god. I'm kind of like.
But did you watch the trailer before you knew of the reactions or after?
I'm trying to remember. It was in the middle. Like I heard some people.
Okay, so
rave
you heard
about
something,
but it wasn't like yeah. So maybe that influenced me a little bit.
Because I'll tell you what my Saturday looked like. I came home at 4:30, blackout drunk. Went on YouTube. Was like, oh shit, this trailer's here. I gotta watch this one. Put it on. Was like something clicked. Then sobered me up. Watched the trailer. Not just teared up. But like, I hope the neighbors didn't hear me. I was like bawling. And I'm like, I'm watching this again. I watched it again and again. And I was like, okay, I got to watch this in the morning when I'm sober. Same effect.
I got to rewatch it because I got to tell you, we actually agree that like, I mean, we usually agree on, like you mentioned those trailers, the Man of Steel one, the Logan one. I have the same thoughts as you. Those are some of my favorite trailers of all time. I would add, I don't want to start any kind of interesting people in chat, whatever. You can say whatever you like to say about the movie. It's fine. The final Rise of Skywalker trailer is one of the ones that got me.
Good.
And the music does a lot of the heavy lifting. In trailers, I feel like the music has an immense role.
I mean, how Thor Guns N' Roses one was working with from Thor.
My favorite trailer of all time is the trailer for the season 1 of The Punisher.
Okay, that's a good one.
They use Metallica's one, and the end riff, the one that's like they synchronize it to the gunshot. And like the bullets falling, I'm like, this is the coolest fucking trailer I've ever seen in my life. And to Jarvis' point, a lot of it was to do with the music. So yeah, and just like I think Angela Bassett was really the only person you hear talking in it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I feel like her speech is gonna be like, Pullman level speech.
She could pull it off. I mean, she's phenomenal.
She could. That's pun intended.
She could pull
woman this off.
Pull woman it off. I think part of it is because I don't know. I think I don't know. It's the mystery of who's going to be in the Black Panther, who's going to become Black Panther.
Yeah, that's the big question, right? Who was that at the end? Like, whose ass was that?
Whose ass was that? But I will rewatch.
As an ass guy, you think I would know, but
that is definitively this ass. But
it wasn't America's ass. It wasn't Rogers.
I can tell you it wasn't Sebastian Stan's ass, so it's not the White Wolf becoming the Black Panther.
Oh, that would be very.
That would be a scandal right there. You think but who would you want it to be?
It definitely wasn't Michael B. Jordan's ass. I'll tell you that.
It looks like this is not meant to be sound weird, but it looked like a female, right?
It did.
Right?
I think we're getting a female. I honestly think we're going to get.
I mean, it's got to be Shuri, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Shuri. I don't know for sure.
Or Okoye. I think Okoye could be even a better, because Shuri seems to be locked into the tech side of things more. No,
maybe. You know what would be interesting to see is like because also Shuri, Letitia Wright had that little tuffle in the public space about vaccinations and stuff like that. I wonder if it was going to be Shuri and they sidebarred. We're going to Okoye now, so maybe I don't know. We'll have to see.
I mean, it's not going to be Riri Williams because we know she's going to become
Ironheart. Yep, that's for sure. I don't think it's going to be Angela Bassett. That's not kind of the role for her.
Oh, dude, I freaking love that. Though.
I don't think that. I mean, maybe because
it's because we don't even know if that's going to be a new Black Panther. It could be just they pull on the suit and have one epic like showdown.
Right, it could be. I am interested to see what's going on with that. So, but I will rewatch the trailer again, and maybe I was just not in a great space or a great.
Are we watching it here or?
I don't want to watch it live. We get flagged. I realize I'll probably get flagged.
We're too big. We have too many viewers. We can't let this fly.
I don't understand. I never understood how trailer reactions work concerning how much it flag. I think it's something to do with being live or something. I don't know. But either way, I will watch it again at some point, and I'll touch base and let you know how I feel about the after watching. Maybe it'll change for me. But all right, let's move on. Of all time. I definitely won't say that. I can definitively say that.
Watch Jarvis say that until the next Avatar 2 trailer.
Yeah, because the first one wasn't that like it was okay. It didn't do what it needed to be. What needed to be done
did nothing for me.
Yeah, it was just, but it was a teaser. That's all right. It was just
there was some kind of Avatar-ish moments I found in the
I thought the Black Panther's trailer was better.
There's a lot of water stuff there, and I don't think you mentioned it. The birthing scene in the water. Yep. Something so I don't know.
I was gonna say the Black Panther underwater scenes were better than the Avatar 2 water scenes in the trailer so far. Not gonna lie.
Well, one is live action, the other one is just Cameron doing freaky shit.
We'll find out, I guess. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just see. Where's my list? I had the list up. Where'd it go? What's the next? Okay,
She-Hulk is next.
Oh yeah, we're doing She-Hulk next. Okay, She-Hulk. Lots of people have been down on this because the whole CGI for her and everything else. And honestly, I could give a fuck.
What the fuck do people want? Like,
but it does look bad. Like her CGI still looks bad, but the new trailer was just way better.
What I'm saying about that is, who gives a fuck? This is like the kind of show that, like, with the tone it's going for, I don't think the CGI really matters.
No. But the Hulk looks amazing. That's the problem. The Hulk looks like Endgame level CGI, and she just looks like a TV show. That's the weird thing. There's too big of a difference between them.
One of my favorite cartoons as a kid was Pingu. I used to watch shows that were all claymation and shit. I get that, like, a lot of people in, like, the film discourse, our eyes are attuned to good or bad CGI. However, for people, and I'm not saying us, and by the way, I'm not saying the three of us, for people to let that ruin their experience of the project, be it a movie, be it a TV show or whatever, I just think it's stupid. Like, this show looks funny as hell. You get great cameos, which some people apparently cameos are the end all be all. And yeah, it's an interesting. It's going to be like a legal procedural.
Ally McBeal.
Ally McBeal in the MCU.
Yeah.
Legally Blonde in the MCU.
Are you surprised that Mark Ruffalo has such a big presence? Feels like he's like forced by his contract to be in this, because he feels like a almost like an A-lister movie star. It's like he's so involved in this TV series now that hasn't been getting great reviews, and I don't know. Seems like he's too big for it.
It made sense because, like, the Hulk was a big part of her story, so he's kind of got to be there in a way, especially at the beginning. And I think Mark Ruffalo is the kind of guy, like, from what I've seen in interviews and stuff, I just don't think he cares. I think he has any airs about things. He's kind of like, yeah, I like the whole character. Yeah, she won you for a Disney show, sure. I just don't think he cares as much about it, like, where you do.
She is Fiona, yes, Fiona.
And plus, it's a paycheck. You guys gotta remember. It's a big ass paycheck to be in the MCU.
Yeah, and for Mark Ruffalo, he can never have a standalone Hulk movie, right? At the current
well, I don't know. It's never been definitively outlined. It's been kind of thrown out there that they didn't want to do a Hulk movie. I mean, they did it before in 2008. So,
but that was different. That was Paramount.
That's true. I mean, I guess, but I don't know if they could. I mean, they'd probably have to come to some kind of agreement, like Sony, I guess, maybe. I don't know what the moment situation is for them.
Yeah, I read up on it, and they can't have him in a standalone movie at this moment. The contract won't allow it, so he's pretty much just. Where do you need me? I'm gonna go to your movie.
In a way, it's kind of good, and it's kind of good that way in a way, because you can put him in all these different things and get like a Hulk. I mean, I remember one of the things they did. They were going to try to do a Hulk trilogy within other movies, like Thor Ragnarok was partially a Hulk movie, obviously. Maybe She-Hulk's a part of that idea. I mean, there's been talk about Planet Hulk for a long time. Maybe they could do like a series about Planet. I mean, they couldn't do Planet Hulk now. It's hard to do Planet Hulk now because of Ragnarok pretty much riffed on it in a way, to be honest with you. So it's kind of that way already. But they could do something like that, perhaps like a Hulk movie that's not just the Hulk.
Have him show up in the Wolverine show. That's probably going to happen.
No, it could happen at some point, that's for sure.
We need Taron Egerton for that. Give Taron the Wolverine part. Come on. Do it already. Do it.
But,
do it.
I think Taron Egerton's too nice.
Oh, dude, you got to watch Blackbird. He's freaking ferocious when he needs to be.
I feel like we should talk about who popped up at the end of this year.
Oh wait, before we do that, just overall, we got to talk about Tim Roth as the Abomination.
Oh shit,
showing up. I feel like that's going to be a big thing as well. And I'd say the overall tone of this trailer kind of has this show in the good graces, like back in the good graces, because the fourth wall break, the sort of ridiculous tone that is there now, that makes it a little more digestible to me, at least.
Well, that's the way the She-Hulk comics have always been too. So I mean, it sounds I kind of knew it had to happen at some point because that's how most of She-Hulk kind of got a thing that John Byrne used to make her break the fourth wall all the time. Hell, I remember there's a great moment in the comic books where like she totally used it, like, and she has a panel here, and I have to make this trip to this other place across the city, and it just shows her walking between panels.
Oh, nice! Oh, that's cool.
It's just like that's the kind of thing they do throughout the series. So I'm kind of interested to see how far they can take that in the frame of a show. But I think the tone can be fine. I think you're gonna have a lot of cameos in here, that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun cameos.
Benedict Wong's coming back.
Yeah, Wong showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a lot of characters, I think, in there because like she's gonna represent superheroes. So you're gonna get all these like D-list superheroes that might never appear in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You'll get a live action appearance of them with She-Hulk because it's gonna be fun.
I think Wong showing up. I don't know why, but Wong showing up somehow gave this also some like more depth and seriousness. Although he's like the comic relief for Doctor Strange usually, but something about him, I don't know. It was like, okay, this is part of the bigger thing. I feel like this is MCU.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I know, like for example, there's a She-Hulk book back in the day where She-Hulk, like Hercules, got sued by the Constrictor because he put him in the hospital during a battle kind of thing, and like Hercules lost all of his money because of it and everything else and then She-Hulk kind of like represent him to get it back. It's like that's the kind of thing we're gonna get. We're gonna always like see like weird like real life scenarios dealing with superheroes, which is always kind of a fun thing to look at because you don't ever really see that very much. The real life effects of like think about the Avengers, how much damage that did. Like how much of like these superhero battles cost as far as things that go. So you get that in real world, get that real world look at this kind of thing. It's kind of always a fun little aspect to it. I think that's going to be throughout the She-Hulk show.
And breaking the fourth wall, we're going there now.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's coming next?
Let's go.
Deadpool.
That's true. That's very true. At some point, I would be surprised.
And it's going to be R-rated as well. So
yeah,
we should be good.
We'll have to see. You have to see how it goes. We'll go. I mean, it says it's going to be R-rated, which is fine. I just wonder if they're going to how R-rated they'll let it get. We'll see. I'm not entirely sold on Disney doing it still. It said R-rated.
Let them cook, man.
I hope so.
That is a formula that so far has proven to be unfucking touchable.
Yeah.
Just let them work. Let Ryan Reynolds do his thing. No studio notes. Just let the man do what he does best.
All right, let's move on. Shazam 2,
Fury of the Gods. Maddie needed the last cameo of this trailer, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, we can talk about that if you want. We can get into that in the news bit. But yeah, we can actually... Okay, go ahead.
Daredevil or someone who is in a Daredevil...
It's got to be
Charlie Cox, right? It's Charlie Cox.
It's got to
be. And... Okay, like, I love Daredevil. Like, the Frank Miller Daredevil stuff is probably my favorite comic book storytelling period ever. Charlie Cox to me is Daredevil. Like you have certain people, like some people say you've got Tom Holland is my Spider-Man or Andrew Garfield is my Spider-Man. No, Charlie Cox is Daredevil.
Ben Affleck's my Daredevil.
Ben Affleck is my Batman, though.
He's my Batman and my Daredevil.
Yeah, like those 3 seasons of Daredevil, like he busted his fucking ass on that role.
Wait, was it only 3 seasons?
It was 3 seasons. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But then you got Defenders.
He came back. Yeah,
he was in some of the other ones. Yeah,
he was in Defenders.
He was the head of that universe.
So that Defenders show was kind of shit.
The Defenders was fine. What was the other one?
The Iron Fist was awful.
I mean, I watched the guy that played. What was his name? The guy that played Iron Fist.
Finn
Jones. Game of Thrones.
From Game of Thrones. Finn Jones.
Actually, a really cool actor.
He trained for a grand total of 4 days before he started shooting.
Really? No.
It shows.
No.
He was an awful actor anyway. I'm sorry, I just didn't like it. I didn't like him in anything.
Lewis Tan because Lewis Tan was in Iron Fist as well. Lewis Tan kind of came out and went on a massive rant about him. Just saying you showed up and trained the fight choreography for 4 days before we started shooting. Fuck you.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Well, it felt like was it Christina Chadwick or what was the Chendwick?
Jessica Hardwick.
Jessica
Jennifer.
Jessica Hardwick.
Yeah, that's her. She was. That show gave us her. So
that's true.
We got that going for us.
Was it?
What are you trying to look up?
It is Jessica Hardwick. Okay, I just want to make sure Jessica Hardwick. I get that name.
I was gonna say, is it Jessica Hardwick or Jessica Henwick?
Jessica Hardwick. So, yeah, there we go. The whole thing was shit, though. To be honest, besides her, Luke Cage was okay.
Jessica Jones, I thought was pretty good.
Luke Cage kind of went downhill. Punisher, the first season was amazing. The second season was okay, good, solid.
Bring back Johnny B.
Yeah, we need him.
But Daredevil is definitely the top of the class. Sure. Daredevil, the first season for sure. I'm glad to see it's coming back. Speaking of that, we're glad to see that's coming back now for an unprecedented 18 episodes first season.
Think how many hallway fight scenes we can get in 18 episodes.
18 episodes. Now, I don't know if it's 18 like half-hour episodes or 40-minute episodes like they've been doing, or it's 18 full-long, hour-long. Either way, that's a big commitment considering all the shows have been like 6 episodes, 7 episodes.
And Vinny D's coming back too.
Yes, Vincent D'Onofrio. Well, that was a
that Vinny D. I was like, Groot is in this?
Not Vinny Diesel.
But when you say Vinny D, I don't think of Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio. I wonder if what I do wonder is the rest coming back. Like, is Elgin Henson coming back? Is it Mal?
I know the guy who plays Foggy is coming back.
He is coming back. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I think it was Hollywood Reporter reported that he signed a contract.
Okay, Elgin Henson. Okay, all right.
Or Variety, it was one of those ones. They reported that he signed a contract to appear in Daredevil Born Again, which, by the way, we're going to get onto it, but I'll just say.
All right, just do it now. Let's do it now. Talk about it now.
The Born Again storyline is probably, other than maybe Man Without Fear, is my favorite Daredevil arc. Frank Miller is a goddamn genius.
Yeah, and he's made the definitive. It's the definitive Daredevil story, to be honest with you. So I mean, like, I'm all here for it. Again, as long as they let it happen like it's supposed to happen. There's another time where I'm kind of a little worried about the Marvel side of the Disney side of it. It's on Disney Plus, so they let them go full on as they should. I'm hoping so. I don't know though. We'll have to find out. But I do like the commitment to 18 episodes.
Yeah, and they've shown now that they're willing to go both. You've got the more kid friendly stuff like Ms. Marvel,
which was awesome.
Yeah,
finished it today. Loved it.
And then let us adults have.
I agree.
This violence.
I agree. I just don't know if I don't know if they agree. By the way, I can't say that Elton Henson was officially confirmed for that. By the way, I'm looking at everything else. They're not saying anything about that at all. They're saying that's still to be determined. Her or Deborah Ann Wall also. I think people want him to come back, and I hope he does. But
what are they going to do? They're going to have Favreau playing?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like they did in the film?
Wouldn't be surprised. Just Ben Affleck making a cameo. That's what I want to
know. No.
Ben Affleck come and slap Charlie Cox down and go, no, this is my suit, bitch.
That movie's so bad. The soundtrack to the Daredevil movie is great.
The Kevin Smith cameo is pretty good too.
Or just have Colin Farrell pop up or something weird like that. They have wait. The new phase is gonna be the Multiverse Saga. So they can
in the Multiverse Saga.
They can have Ben Affleck and Colin Farrell, anyone pop up.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I love the idea. Let's do it.
Bobby.
Oh, God.
Shazam?
Yeah, let's move forward. Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. Love this trailer.
Yes.
Loved it 100%. Helen Mirren. This is
Helen Mirren, Fast and the Furious. They brought it all in there.
They did the whole Fast and Furious bit in, which was good. Overall, I love it. I love everything about it. There's nothing I didn't like about it. It seems like it took what happened in the first and just expands on it.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't seem like
it's
same tone, same energy, same feel. And it's tough to do that. It's tough to capture that kind of feeling in sequels for this kind of story. Because this kind of story
and still keep it fresh as well.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like recapture that feeling and have it be this. Because obviously the first one was such a coming of age kind of story, and it's hard to capture that childlike wonder. like after already gone through something like he did in Shazam, but it still feels like he's still kind of feeling his way, but he's a little bit older, a little more experienced, but he gets to guide things. Everything about it seems spot on to me. This is the one DC thing I'm actually very excited about still.
He is having a sort of like an identity crisis in this one. Like you said, the first one was a coming to age story. This one is him trying to find himself. He's like, there's already Superman, there's Batman, there's the Flash, whose face they're not showing in this trailer.
I love that. He was like, there's already a superhero in a red costume with a lightning bolt on it. I was like, that's good. Self-deprecating humor. Yeah, I'm all for that.
And again, the music, the Eminem soundtrack, spot on.
Yeah,
spot on. Great. Brought the weight, brought the thunder, brought exactly what it needed.
Love it wholeheartedly. So,
also, does Djimon Hounsou, is he ever going to start to age?
No,
like,
never.
He's like in his 50s or 60s. They put like a white wig on him. It's like, dude, you can't make him look that old. When he's already is that old, he just looks weird on him.
Even Pierce Brosnan looks great.
Oh yeah, Pierce Brosnan. There we go.
He looks great for his age.
Oh, he's a silver fox.
So Djimon Hounsou he's the same age as Donnie Yen. He's 58.
58.
Wow.
And he still looks like a gray wig looks weird on him.
Did you guys ever think we would see, like, going back and watching the Bonds way back when? Do you think we would ever see a gray fox Pierce Brosnan?
I never did think we'd see that, but here we are.
Like, what do you mean?
I thought that once the boyish good looks like started to fade, that he would be a bit like, all right, I'm gonna get out of this while like my looks have faded. I'm gonna. But
there was a pause. I think it was the same like when you look at Sean Connery. We know like the young Sean Connery. Then try to look up Sean Connery in his 50s and 60s. It's like, oh dear God, you look. And I'm sorry for this. He looks so weird. It's like it's thinning, but it's still dark hair.
Yeah,
and the beard hasn't gone white. He looks so out of place. And then you get pretty much like the Rock Sean Connery, like where he's already like aged into his looks.
Clooney went away for a while.
That's a good point.
But that was for different reasons. He just feels like he's too busy of a man.
They all had a bit of work done.
Oh, we probably all do.
All right. Next bit of news the next bit of things is you can talk about this because I actually didn't even see it and I have no interest in it. Go ahead, talk about Black Adam.
I was kind of the same what we got the last few trailers. I'm sorry, Matt, you take this one. I've been starting.
Yeah. How do I put this with as much due respect as I can? I love The Rock. I think everyone on the planet
There's a big butt coming.
There's a massive butt coming. big old butt.
It's not hairy.
Is it The Rock in Black Panther?
Smooth butt coming.
Is The Rock in Black Panther? Is that what it is?
No, it wasn't chiseled enough of an ass. Like there wasn't as much of an indent between the cheeks to be The Rock. The Rock only ever plays The Rock.
Yes, sir.
In any movie that he's in, he's just there to be jacked, smolder, give the people's eyebrow, and say very minimal sentences.
Catchphrases.
Catchphrases. Or one or two words here and there. That is pretty much what we get in this movie, in this trailer. It's just him blowing shit up, him and Pierce Brosnan having the conversation of you can be this world's savior or you can be its destroyer. How this is going to tie in with Shazam, because they keep fucking talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea, because it's going to be the silly goofiness of Shazam and then the Black Adam, who's I'm so tired
humorless.
He's so
humorless,
tired
right?
hearing about the power structure in the DC universe. If I have to hear that phrase one more time, I'm gonna fucking kill someone.
But there's a way to show how powerful a superhero can be. And I know Ben and Drew said this the first time, and I'm stealing this from them. Like the way the Russo brothers were able to show the strength of Captain America, even when he's just doing fist fighting. You felt the hits, you felt the throws, you felt how powerful he was. Now, you said it, Matty. The power structure is supposed to change now with this DC movie. But this trailer, I mean, sure, he shot lightning, he threw around villains or heroes, but you didn't get the feeling that there was like impact in his power.
It's,
Sort of,
it
it was
like,
just
cool. You're a god
yeah.
that can
You
beat
got to
the
make The
shit out
Rock
of
look
the
so
immortals.
powerful. I'd say even Shazam trailer, like Zachary Levi, looked like he was more in control with his punches and stuff like that. That's also like editing and like CGI. I get it, but you know,
It's The Rock being The Rock.
Mm.
We get
The Rock has always
being The
ever.
Rock.
The Rock has always never been The Rock. I think in like Be Cool was like the only time I think he wasn't like just The Rock.
Tooth Fairy.
Even then, he was still The Rock. Even then, he was still The Rock. I agree. I've never been excited about this product. I still, although I'm guilty. I'm guilty, and I think we're all guilty. I think we're all going to see it.
Yes,
And-
for sure. We're seeing.
and
I'm
that's
watching
like-
all of this.
Right. And yet, like, here at the same time going, so we're like kind of like almost not hate watching it, but why are we supporting it? Just because it's there. I mean, I get it and I don't get it at the same time because I'm part of the problem. But like, we're just going to go see it.
And also the DC track record is, let's just say, not great.
Well, it's in shambles right now because they could only bring 2 movies to DC to the Comic-Con because they can't bring anything else because you got Flash, which they have a major problem with, which they don't know what they're doing with. They have Aquaman 2, which they're still dealing with the Amber Heard fallout to a
Oh
degree.
my god, you're so right.
Like they're not well, like they couldn't really parade these things out without doing much with this. So like it was like, well, we do the 2 movies we have and have no problems with. Everything else kind of like I don't know what we're doing with it.
I know what they should do. They should bring in Johnny Depp as the Flash.
Perfect. I think they put Johnny Depp as Aquaman. Anyway,
yeah.
But either way, but the worst thing about DC is, like, for example, was the biggest news that came out of DC was that Henry Cavill didn't show up, and I felt like
Yeah, because
for DC.
He's over here right now filming The Witcher.
Well, that's the thing
The
is, I
Witcher.
felt bad for DC though. DC Warner Bros. Never promised anything. I don't know. We don't know where the rumor came from. They were never. I mean, if I was DC or WB, I probably would have came out and said, "Nope, Henry Cavill's not showing up" before it happened. Everybody assumed that became news, and I hate the fact that happened because, like, you say Warner Bros. Never promised that. They never even hinted at it. Somebody else.
Dan
took up
Mel
some
did
kind
a
of
video
rumor or
of it. I
story.
think it was something called The Buzz.
Right.
Said that there was like a rumor that
Right.
he was going to show up, and then Henry Cavill himself came. And this is the thing I hate, and this is why, like, Andrew Garfield, I feel, is kind of responsible for this, of like actors being like, "No, I'm not doing it."
No.
Lying.
You're lying.
You're lying. Come on, you're doing it, aren't you? Sometimes
Right.
no just means no.
Yes, that's true. And I mean, I'm one who's been pimping for Man of Steel 2 for forever with Henry Cavill. I want Henry Cavill back as Superman.
Please.
But I'm actually hearing rumors from people now saying that it's Henry Cavill that's like said no, the WB has come back to him, and Henry Cavill's kind of like trying to stiff arm him now and hold out for more kind of thing at this point. This is what I've heard too. So I don't know.
He's way bigger now than his Superman role. I feel like he can pretty much do whatever he wants now.
Do people think
think they're
that we
overshooting
don't
it.
want to see jacked Henry Cavill and Jack the Rock go at it?
Oh, I know. That'd be perfect.
I would be glued to that screen watching those 2 hunks of meat just beat the shit out of each other.
If I'm WB, I'm backing up the truck for Cavill at this point though, because even more than they need Cavill as Superman, they need a feel good story, and that's a feel good story right now. That's something that'll turn.
And that's
views
give him a blank check.
positive. Give him a
Just
blank
say to
check.
him, how many
Man of Steel
zeros?
2, whatever you want to do. Talk to me. Tell me what you need to make this happen, because they need more than anything else. Even if the movie ends up sucking, even people go, you know what? I didn't even like Man of Steel 1 because a lot of people didn't. They get reminded, like, I hated Batman versus Superman. Why do I want them back? I don't even know why I wanted this to happen. They still need that turnaround, that some kind of positive news coming from them direction, because they have nothing right now. They got nothing. I mean, I feel bad. Michael Keaton's coming back in The Flash. And
It's gonna be his movie now.
But the thing is, I don't even know if I'm hearing I might get dumped on HBO Max because of it, because of the Ezra Miller's.
They're gonna
I've
edit
heard
out
those.
all the Flash stuff. That's gonna become a Batman Beyond movie.
Exactly. I mean, they can't recast at this point. It's way too late for them to do that, to do recasting for it at this point. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it turns to Batgirl, but because Batman, I know Mckell's going to be in Batgirl also, but that's who knows. There's a lot. DC's in trouble. I felt bad for them. They almost should have pulled out of Comic-Con, but how do you pull out of Comic-Con as the biggest second biggest or whatever, like one of the biggest,
especially like
comics in the world.
the one right after,
right,
like the first one people could go to.
right. So you had to give something. So they delivered what they could, and it wasn't a bad panel. It just when you compare it to
The Rock showing up was cool.
How what Marvel did and what Marvel had planned out, like it just got blown away in comparison. All right, we're gonna spend too much time on that. We are 40 minutes, so let's go to the next one. Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. Was never excited about this movie. Saw the trailer, enjoyed it.
No, yeah,
enjoyed it. I think the acting or the performers are charismatic.
Right.
I think it's gonna be enough to get me to go and be happy for it.
I love the fact that that they took the ridiculous route with it.
Yeah.
Because Dungeons and Dragons has a huge cult following already.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the game's big. I have no idea what the actual lore is about, so I'm not one of those people. But I think they did themselves a big favor by making this a little more sillier, more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because there's less chance to mess this up, and if you don't take it too seriously, and the fans, they aren't gonna beat you as hard when it's not as good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I saw that like someone had reached out to someone that was in the movie or something, or had something to do with the movie, and asked about that owl bear thing's powers. Like,
that's so awesome.
Like if they were using the power from the game, and the person working on the movie was like, yes, they're using the power from the game. And I was like, damn, D&D fans, like they go pretty hard for their game. And fair enough, because like I've never seen a Dungeons and Dragons movie. This is gonna be the first one. The first World of Warcraft movie, let's face it, wasn't great.
Wait, isn't there Dungeons? No, that was a different something with
there was a Dungeons and Dragons movie before.
Like this,
Marlon Wayans was in it. Marlon Wayans was in it. Jeremy Irons was in it.
Yeah,
so it was not very good.
They've done something with it. Yeah.
It was very shit.
Yeah, but this has been in the works. Go ahead.
This looks like it's done properly to me. It looks like it's fun. It looks like it's adventurous. I mean, because at its heart, Dungeons and Dragons can be serious, but at the same time, if you watch like Stranger Things, that's really what it is. It's these kids playing.
Is that Vecna there?
Maybe it's Vecna.
There is like a red warlock looking thingy that has the same facial stuff. Is
that going to be playing Master of Puppets in the Dungeons and Dragons movie?
Probably not,
because we got a whole lot of love.
I know we did have that. That's true. That you know what? That's funny. Is that was another trailer I talked about where the music definitely did the heavy lifting for me a little bit. It was like kind of like it worked for me because of that music. Yeah, Vecna from Forgotten Realms is a little different. The one thing of Stranger Things I will say is Sean Sullivan has talked about this a lot behind the scenes and on his things. They've changed a lot of what Dungeons and Dragons lore is as far as like Vecna and everything else goes, which is fine. But yeah, but it could be, you never know. You could see something like that in Dungeons and Dragons. We'll see. I'm just saying.
And Chris Pine plays the flute. The lute. I'm sorry.
The lute. That's right. He's a bard. He's a bard. So it's kind of fun.
That was a fun sequence.
All right, moving on. Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, the first full real trailer.
Oh, wow. You guys are going to have to do this one because I apparently hate Lord of the Rings.
Well, did you actually watch the trailer or no?
I did.
You did.
Yeah, have you which extended or theatrical?
Which extended trailer or the theatrical trailer?
Depends. Does the theatrical cut mean when I turned it off halfway through?
Yeah, you're out.
I didn't. I watched the whole thing. It looks cool.
It looks it looks like we got some meat this time. Obviously, the first one was really more of a teaser, and this one you got to see a little more of the action in place. I love what they're doing with Galadriel. I love what they're doing with.
Is she the main character now? Is like
I think that's what it is.
This trailer definitely tried to stress that she's the focal point of this.
That's what it seems like to me. It's funny because like I realized that I've forgotten so much of the lore. Because I read the Silmarillion once. I wish Lego was here. Lego is like an aficionado, and she knows a lot about. Like I remember her tweeting out about different bits of the trailer, who these characters were. And I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of vaguely remember reading about that. I read the Silmarillion like when I was a kid. Really, I haven't read that one because
not like the crazy stupid big book.
Yes, it's not an easy read. It's a history book, really. It's honestly a history book of Lord of the Rings world. And there's some cool stories in there. There's a lot of but it's not a story. It's not like a to B story. It's like a bunch of stories of the characters in that time frame. So it's like
And
it's
we got
not
2 shows like that coming out.
That's true. That's very true.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
But so I remember a lot of these, like all these names sound familiar to me. I'm kind of like, well, like, who's that again? That's the just. What is that? I mean, obviously, I pinned on to Galadriel as someone from Lord of the Rings, but everything looked very cool. I like to we're getting more of the dwarves. I'm glad we're getting. I'm a dwarf guy, so I'm glad.
Do you like the visuals and the settings? And
I did.
You do.
I did. Were you okay with them, or?
Yeah, I'm asking this because I'm like leading the question here. It feels a little too polished, too clean, too like it looks so beautiful, but it's like, oh, like you watch it, it's like, oh, this is well produced. Like this looks like it's got a lot of money.
The amount of money that they're spending on it, and they're like 200 million for the first season.
Right, exactly. I think it's $1 billion for the entirety of the show or something when you include the promotional stuff. It's just like crazy money in there. And it feels like there's not enough practical stuff at all, because the Lord of the Rings trilogy wasn't a cheap trilogy by all means. It was like it had a huge budget, but still, like you felt the dirt. You saw the dirt. It felt like things were worn, tired. This feels like just like beautifully crafted, well produced, well lit.
It might be the fact that like it's a different age and they weren't as dirty back in the day, kind of like the Star Wars prequel versus like the Star Wars.
Yeah, I knew you were going there.
Kind of thing. Of course. So. I will say I'm actually very excited about the music, because Howard Shore did do the main theme, just like the original Lord of the Rings movies, but also Bear McCreary is doing the rest of the composing. And Bear McCreary is a great composer. He's done a lot of cool things. Obviously, but Battlestar Galactica. He did Caprica, Human Target, Outlander. He's done a lot of series that are really, really cool. So I love listening to his work. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
There were a few scenes. I think it was when they were showing I think it was a dwarven city or something they were showing, and you felt the Howard Shore. Like they've strayed pretty far from the original themes and everything. But there was this one scene where you were like, okay, this was familiar. This is the Howard Shore stuff that I want to hear.
So let's see how they weave it all in.
Question for those who are uneducated like myself, the uncultured Lord of the Rings swine. In the trailer where she says, we thought the war is over, right? Who was the war between?
It's always between not Sauron, but Sauron's big boss. Morgoth is the first one.
Sauron has a big boss?
He did.
Sauron was the big boss.
No. Sauron in Lord of the Rings before, Morgoth was actually the original. Melkor, Melkor was also known as Morgoth. Sauron was like his right hand man at one point. I don't know exactly. This is where I start getting hazy as far as when did Morgoth stop being and when did Sauron become the big guy. At some point, Sauron was the big boss, obviously, during most of the stuff. I still think Sauron might be the big boss here overall, but I think they might go into a little bit of both. Morgoth was also with Ungoliant, who is like the big spider, Shelob's like ancestor kind of thing. That was another creature of that time. They were even bigger back then. I have to really dive deep, and I haven't had time to really dive back deep into the Lord of the Rings. I'm not as Lord of the Rings.
Where's Buck?
As much as like, I wish I could talk to Rachel Cushing about this stuff, or like Lego. I think at this point too. I loved what I know, but you know. So I know more than you guys do, I think, and like I'm like, as soon as I see something on the screen, I'm like, oh yes, that's right, but I can't like do go to that there.
Maybe you know who is the evil looking elf in there?
The one that everybody said was Sauron. That was what Sauron was like. The albino one, kind of. The albino one. No, that was not. I don't believe that is Sauron. It could be, because Sauron has disguised himself as a fair elf for a while.
Oh, I didn't know that.
During the times, that might have been that aspect of it. I don't know for sure. But I wouldn't be surprised if they go into that aspect where Sauron kind of like comes down and becomes like this fair elf for a while. That could be. I don't know for sure on that one. But
he looked awesome. Like he looked scary, dangerous. Also, there were a few scenes that gave some horror like
horror
references. Also,
vibe,
like
absolutely.
when it was like some claw, maybe Sauron climbing out of like the shadows, and like at the very end, like grabbing someone behind and pulling them. There's some could be some dark stuff in there. I'm hoping.
Right, absolutely.
Hoping.
It's supposed to be Anna.
Does Ian McKellen make an appearance? Do you guys think?
No,
I don't think so, unfortunately. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't try to push him back, like get him like as like a season finale kind of thing, a cameo of some kind, maybe. But
because I saw him a few months ago, literally the only stage show I've been to, like him as Hamlet.
Okay,
him in Hamlet, he looked great. Like like physically, he looks great for his age. So, the only reason I ask is because like I could see him like popping on set for a few days and just doing it, and then dancing.
It could happen because we did see the Balrog at the very end.
I will say it's a little. I think he might overwhelm for the wrong reasons, especially because he is so much older now too, and he'd be so much younger in this part of the timeline as well. So I highly doubt it unless we get some kind of like bookended appearance or like some maybe what they maybe should have done is have him in the first episode and have him like
recast someone else.
Start talk about what happening back in the day, flashback kind of thing. But I don't think we see him, to be honest. In a way, I think it's probably better we don't. I think it'd be too much. That's a good point. So you let you know that's a good point. I wasn't sure when he actually showed up, and that when I came back, I don't think it does come the third age. See, this is where I'm a little faulty.
That answers my question.
Thank you, Mr. Lustrina. Always good to have you in the chat as well.
And we gotta say good luck to John tonight. Not these.
Yes, good luck to John tonight. He's fighting a lesser opponent. I don't know. Has he given you his slices yet, there, John? I don't know if that's okay. John versus Ben Bateman in a Patreon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. John should kick his ass. I mean, he's trained pretty well.
Yeah.
So, all right, I got a couple trailers left, a couple news bits before we get out of here. We're kind of running a little bit long. Let's gotta shoot through these. Let's go to number 10. Go to House of the Dragon, since it's kind of similar in feel in a way. Because House of the Dragon is something else based on an anthology book, pretty much. That's not exactly a book. It's kind of little stories here and there. This looks good. It looks fine. I will say.
I think it looks amazing.
Yeah, I think it looks really well. I think it looks really good. Matt Smith is. I love Matt Smith, as everybody knows.
He's perfect here.
He's perfect. He does really well. Although it's interesting, I would never have picked him when I read this book, I read this series as well. Not someone I would pick for this character, generally speaking, but he is looking very, very solid. Everything about this last trailer really looked kind of like it felt more Game of Thrones-y and ready to go than the other ones had. So I'm very excited about that. Real quick, Streamlabs. Shug says, Paul has been my right-hand man a couple of times. Hope all of you are well. Miss talking to all of you. Buddy. Much love. Shug, I appreciate that, brother. And I definitely miss talking to you as well. Hopefully we'll get the chance to rectify that.
Your top 10 pound-for-pound boxing rankings were an absolute shamble, but I still love you, Shug.
I think he'll fight you on that. We'll have to see what happens. Shug doesn't back down. We'll make it work out. We should have maybe I'll come on here. I'll have you guys duke it out. That'd be good. Verbally, figuratively speaking, of course.
Okay. Yeah, but did you see what Matt Smith said at the Comic-Con panel? When someone yelled out, "It's Morbin time," and he was like,
"Oh,
what does that mean?
What does that mean? I don't know what that means."
He's like, "You're here for the wrong film, my friend." I was just like, "You absolute fucking legend!" I love
Matt Smith is great. I love Matt Smith. And also, he's been spotted in London wearing a haircut that is very familiar to those who have watched him in Doctor Who. So
I mean, he does live here.
He does live here. I know, but he's got the same hair that he had back in the day. It's a different kind of haircut now. So rumors are kind of spiked that we might not be just getting David Tennant back for the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. I'm crossing my fingers. I kind of hope we get as many as possible for the anniversary. Fuck it. Let's get them all. Whoever's alive, get them all back. Eccleston won't come back. That's the problem. He has the problem with BBC. The problem, although he has come back to talk to Big Finish. He's doing a Big Finish, which is the audio. Doctor Who audio stuff is like, get PJ talking about it. He'll talk to you for 3 years. But they do like audio dramas, and there is so many stories out there done audio wise in the Doctor Who universe that like I've never even done it because I don't do audio dramas, but I'm almost inspired to try to start because they have like 10th Doctor stories, 9th Doctor stories now, Torchwood stories. They have 4th Doctor stories, 5th, like all the Doctor, all these stories taking place throughout like all the time. And they do like seasons of stuff, and like it's just so much. Which actually the problem I think reasons I haven't started is because it's overwhelming. There's so many I don't even know where to start. To be honest with you, but like I would like to see it happen at some point, but I'll stick to the visuals for now. And I'll cross my fingers that maybe they can work something out between now and then to give you Eccleston a cameo, because that'd be kind of sweet to have him just come in, just pop in once or twice. It'd be nice, but I'm not holding my breath.
What do you do if you have to pick one of these shows now? The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, or The House of the Dragon?
Oh,
Which one are you watching?
I can only watch one: Lord of the Rings or House of the Dragon.
You know,
Kim, what do you think over there? If you could only watch one show, my wife said no on the couch. I'm asking her live. I'm going to totally spotting her. If you could only watch one show, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, or The House of the Dragon, the Game of Thrones prequel, which one are you watching? And Matt and Jarvis say hi.
Tell me about the Lord of the Rings one.
The Lord of the Rings one. I haven't not shown you that trailer? Oh, I haven't shown the trailer yet for Lord of the Rings. I haven't been a bad husband. Lord of the Rings is Second Age. It's pretty much a similar type of thing. It's like they take the prequel storylines that aren't really their mini stories and bring you to.
It has Elrond.
Yes, Elrond was in it.
Galadriel Elrond, sir.
Yes, and she's thinking. She's like, oh yeah, I did see that now. Galadriel and Elrond, right? Elrond was in it. I'm like, Elrond wasn't it? That's true.
But she has seen the House of the Dragon.
She's definitely seen the House of the Dragon trailer. Because she read the book. She's actually read that book too.
Okay.
You're going for House of the Dragon. Kim's saying House of the Dragon.
Yes, okay. Kim. Yes, Kim.
Jarvis on your side, loving it. I think we know Maddie's on House of the Dragons.
Yeah, he has to be, right?
Wrong.
Really?
What, are you going to only watch the recaps of every episode?
Fucked the last season of Game of Thrones so bad.
Last season?
They fucked that season so bad that I'm just like, you were doing so well. You had it all. All you had to do was stick the landing.
No, the problem I have, and I'll tell you right off the bat, was that here the issue is they didn't have source material. That's what happened.
Exactly.
They had the source material for the first 6 seasons or whatever it was, and they did well. Then all of a sudden, they didn't have books written. They didn't know what to do. That was the problem. So they had outline bullet points, and that's pretty much what the show felt like. It was outline bullet points of the ending.
And George R. R. Martin himself gave his blessing to this new show. He said, this feels what he was writing. This feels right. This feels like it's done right. And funny thing about the ending of Game of Thrones, like the final seasons, apparently George R. R. Martin gave them, the plot, like sort of where it's supposed to go. And the books are supposed to be ending that way. He's seen all the hate now. He's doing a different ending for his books now.
I don't know if he said that.
Like
I don't think he'll. I don't think he will.
Feels like
I think he'll double down.
Switching it up though. I think he's.
He feels like the kind of guy. No, he feels like the kind of guy that doubles down. He's like, I don't give a fuck what you think. This is my story. That's what I'm doing. And I think he'll come out well. I don't think there's nothing wrong with the ending of Game of Thrones as far as like the actual what happened.
Yeah.
It was just how they depicted it. Like everything else, I kind of believe for the most part. Overall, like I'm okay with most of that. Especially, it just had to be done better to make that work. That's the problem.
The Battle of the Wall was fucking sick.
Oh yeah,
that I was like, hello.
Oh, and because they didn't know what they were doing. That's the problem. They didn't know what they were doing, so they had to make an all episode just for all battle. Because well, we need to fill in some space here. So if we don't have the space here, we'll just throw some action at you.
But new showrunners now.
All right, we have
new showrunners on this one, so it's gonna be a different beast.
It will be, and it looks good. It looks good. I'll tell you that. I want to watch the trailer again after I'm done here. A couple trailers I have to rewatch now. Okay, real quick, we'll just give me the last two because I did have one little bit of news I wanted to talk about. At least like get into the Marvel Phase 5 and 6 of it. Prey, the trailer for Prey came out. This is solidly looking really good.
This looks cool, man.
Apparently, it got a standing ovation.
You hear that a lot, but I wouldn't doubt it from what the trailer.
How many minutes? If it's under 15,
it's bullshit. Two. I think it was 2.
Can you imagine the Cannes crowd doing a 10-minute standing ovation? No, not for Prey, just whatever. You keep hearing the stories like Top Gun got standing over for like 10 minutes. Can you seriously imagine people clapping for 10 minutes straight?
No.
That's
bullshit.
That's unreal.
Real quick, I want to slip back before we talk more about Prey because John's in the chat. John also doesn't think he'll change the ending. The way we get there will be different since there are characters the show killed that are still alive and characters that were combined.
Well, that's already a different ending.
That's what I'm saying. That's what makes a difference. A lot of differences in that as far as that goes. So I agree with that. But going on to Prey, fully agree. Saw the new trailer, loved it. I think it looks like the best since the original Predator. It seems like it knows what it is. It does not try to be too much.
Not a hard target to hit.
That's true. Honestly, we got Predator 2. Predator 2 was fine in a goofy, fun way. But the Alien vs. Predator movies were shit. Predators was okay. I didn't mind Predators.
But it was because they did Predators like the first Predator. And Prey is now also doing the very simple thing. Right. Just make it simple. Just throw some people in there, have the Predator kill them. No plot needed.
I'm going to let Maddie kill me now, though. I actually liked the Predator. I actually did. I enjoyed it.
Oh,
hey, man.
The Shane Black one.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
That's just like your opinion, man.
Most people hate it. I totally get most people hating it, but I totally had fun with it. So
there is a fan film on YouTube where the Predator goes back in time to the era of the Knights of Templar, and it is one of the coolest fucking Predator videos I have ever seen. Because it's Predator versus the Knights of Templar, and you wouldn't
watch that.
You wouldn't think that would be cool. It's fucking cool.
Oh, for sure. I think that's what they're doing here as well.
Predator
just to
medieval times.
Love it.
They're going in that direction. They're doing like Prey now is it like the beginning of the 19th century?
I'm not sure exactly, but something like that. Something to that effect.
Yeah, because there were like muskets there as well. So you sort of got the feeling that there was already like colonization happening in the Americas.
That's the best part of it. It's the simplicity of it. It's like a very simple story, and that's what it should be. I love it. I think it's going to be great.
And also the Predator, it feels like he's also just starting out because the awesome scene in the field, like where they're both like tuckered down and you see the lasers and the Predator shoots something and you hear it's like it's not bullets, it's not a laser. He's also like messing around with like
Molo thing.
Yeah, exactly.
What if this is a complete what if we get Predator versus the Patriot?
Yeah. Aim small, miss small.
I love it.
Predator versus Tavington. Anyone?
Oh my god!
Damn him! Damn that man! Damn that Predator!
Damn that Predator!
Damn that Predator!
That Predator!
I'm all for it. All right, final bit of a trailer news before we slip into the other Marvel Phase 5 and 6 news. The Sandman. Yep. Now, the Sandman is like a phenomenon, and it's one that really should have been something I've been all over, but I was never because it was huge when I was a kid. I never really read it, and the funny thing is, I love Neil Gaiman, but for whatever reason, I never got into it. There it is. Obviously, Matt is into it. And it makes sense.
And the trailer
is awesome.
Didn't tell you, like I've never read anything about the Sandman, so I was like, I'm watching the trailer. I'm like, wow, what's it about? And it ends. I'm like, wow, what's it about?
It's like a well-known property. It doesn't need to tell itself, I guess. That's what it feels like. But I know enough of what it's about, but I don't know.
It looks awesome. And you can't really tell if it's a movie or a TV show. And you find out it's a TV show. That means it's a good thing. That means it's a good thing. You can't tell which one it is.
Neil Gaiman wrote it when he was 20. Like, that's fucking crazy. Like, he wrote a story this complex and this, frankly, weird when he was 20. And, like, the show Lucifer is based off of the Lucifer character from The Sandman.
Yep.
Oh, really?
So it's there's so many different things that they could do with it. The cast looks incredible.
Oh, the cast is crazy.
Visuals
looks beautiful.
Delicious. They look like from right out of some of the panels of the book.
Looks beautiful.
And it looks dark. Like Netflix is doing their fantasy stuff is usually very, I don't know, like for kids or sort of, I don't know, it doesn't have the depth or the seriousness. No, this feels like it's like dark shit, which I love.
I feel like this will be a show for you, Javi. I really do think it is.
I'm pumped. Like, did you see the cast in this? And this is only to name a few. Tom Sturridge, he's probably not the biggest one, but he's the lead. Gwendolyn Christie, David Thewlis, Charles Dance, Stephen Fry, Patton Oswalt, and Bright Holbrook. Like, that's a big cast for a TV series.
100%. I'm here for it. I love it. I love every bit of it. I can't wait for it now. I'm very, very excited. I just want to throw in there also from Streamlabs, John Lastrina donated. Thank you again. And he just says, Mourner.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Thank you, man. John's been the biggest support, one of the biggest supporters I've had for the new project. So thank you,
It's
John.
awesome.
Appreciate it.
Definitely check that out on Maddie's Twitter. You'll find him on there, pimping it out on Twitter. So we'll go from there. All right, let's get into the Marvel news. Phase 5 and 6. Phase 5 was completely announced. Phase 6 was they mentioned a few things in it. I think they're going to get more in the second Disney 23. Get more announcements there. And I'm going to play a game with you guys that I will announce. There is a bunch of titles that Marvel trademarked right before Comic-Con. Some of them were announced, which led to me just thinking this is a whole legitimate thing. Some were not. So I'm going to throw some titles out at you after we talk about the first part, where we will see what your thoughts are and whether you want it, whether you think it'll be. I mean, I guess because technically speaking, it could be a game, it could be a comic book, even because it was just Marvel. But most of these, I think, are meant to be TV or movies or Disney Plus shows. But let's get into first Phase 5. Obviously, the first announcement, of course, which you said was Kevin Feige ending Phase 4 at the end of this year with Black Panther, Wakanda 2. I was surprised that Phase 4 was so short. This is the first time I've been this short. But at the same time, I want to say is after the biggest thing I want to say about Comic-Con and Marvel is people bitching that Marvel doesn't know what they're doing anymore. They have no focus. They have no plan.
Well, this phase didn't really have one.
Kevin Feige should hold my beer. This one, it was all set up. This is like Phase 1. It was all.
This was the reset button.
That's true.
It's like we're introducing a few characters. We're introducing a few concepts. They're all going to be leading towards something though eventually, and we got what it's leading towards, which I'm excited about. Let's get this Phase 5 up. Patience, exactly. Phase 5. Ant-Man and the Wasp with Quantumania is the first film. Now, let's touch base on that. I will say it was a great idea that this is where we're going to start everything. The reason why they're putting this first in the list is that it's important, which is an interesting choice because Ant-Man and the Wasp are both kind of fun, but mostly inconsequential kind of films to a degree. Did have, I mean, obviously the Quantum Verse was big and it becomes big for the multiverse. But this film, from what I've gathered, they showed footage that did not leak out, or it did leak. It might have leaked, but I don't watch leaked Comic-Con footage. I never did. It's always kind of weird to me. I want to see the official or not. But it has Kang makes his first real big appearance since Loki, since Loki's end of Loki season 1, and we get Jonathan Majors as Kang. And from one line I kept reading from all the reporters is Kang saying, "Are you an Avenger? Have I killed you before?" Yeah. I'm like, this is gonna be badass.
I was like,
are you happy?
So good.
Is Kang now is that your sort of satisfactory end goal, your Thanos that you're like, content with?
Oh, 100%. Kang is easily equal to Thanos. Kang has been, I honestly think overall Kang might be more than Thanos to me, like as far as the comic books go.
I would agree.
MCU? No, let's see what they do. But Kang definitely has a history that is definitively much more than Thanos. Thanos had some higher peaks, I think, at some point, but Kang was consistently this like very big level threat that they've had to come back to quite a few times. So I'm excited about that. I think you're going to get Dr. Doom in phase the next. I think Dr. Doom will be the next level villain. I think at the end, maybe. But I'll have to see. We'll have to come back to that. Unless they do a whole X-Men Magneto thing there. But I don't think Magneto's big enough to be like
probably not
that kind of level threat. So they might have to do. I think it's going to
be like Trask. And
could be Galactus, but it could.
Galactus is one I've heard a lot.
But it could be Doom. I think that you're going to see Doom. That's my thought process. But either way, getting back to this, Ant-Man, I think it's a great time to start. I'm very excited about Ant-Man movie, much more than I would have been before. So your thoughts on Ant-Man?
I don't really have any, I'll be honest.
Okay. Are you not excited about the starting it?
I am. I just don't know enough about the Ant-Man and the comics. So if they're starting it off, I'm going to watch every single one of those movies. It's the latter part of the phase that has me excited. And
what about you, Maddie?
I'm interested to see because they said they're going to spend quite a lot of time in the quantum realm. I'm quite intrigued to see what comes with that.
Right.
It's Quantum Mania.
It is indeed. All right, let's go look at the map again here. The map, as I said, the map.
I think we can't really go through all of this. We're going to be here for another hours.
I just want to hit them. So we got Secret Invasion. I was going to do some quick hits. If you guys want to interrupt me on something that's cool. Secret Invasion. I like what I heard. I like getting Kobe Smulders back from Maria Hill. I do like grizzled Nick Fury coming back. There's a lot of potential in this one. Olivia Colman's in this one, which is actually exciting to me. Great, phenomenal actress is in a TV series here. I mean, Oscar-winning actress is in a TV series here, so that's kind of cool. Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what I want to talk about. Actually, I'll cut back for this one for a bit. Guardians of the Galaxy. From what I heard, again, we don't get this footage. It's the final one, but this was like an emotional panel. Like they're all like fighting back tears, and they all said like this was like a really family that was well done. Like they showed some footage, which was very sad. You get to see Adam Poehler. You get to see what's his name as Adam Warlock, Will Poulter. He looks great. I guess the stories are a lot about Rocket Raccoon and his.
I saw the image of Baby Rocket looking really scared, and I just want to say, whoever it was that hurt that little cutie, I fucking hate them.
I believe you're going to meet him. I believe it's going to be High Evolutionary.
That wanker.
Going to be played by Herbert Wyndham. Herbert going to be played by Herbert Edgar Williams is actually his full name. I'm not sure who he's being played by. They announced that also as well, but I don't remember who it was.
I just saw the picture and it broke my heart. I was like, great. I go watch a trailer with this in.
Yes, Chukwudi Iwuji, who you've seen in a couple of movies. I've always had a hard time saying his name. He was in Peacemaker. So he worked with James Gunn before. So it makes sense. But yeah, I think I'm excited about this one. This is going to be very powerful, very emotional, very, very good. So I can't wait for that one. We get Echo, which I'm looking forward to slightly. I mean, I'm not.
What's Echo?
Coming back.
What's Echo?
Echo was the character from Hawkeye, the blind or the
deaf lady.
Deaf lady.
Oh,
from,
right.
So it's more of a street level thing.
Cool.
Daredevil and Kingpin. I mean, it's gonna be kind of cool street level.
And Charlie Cox is coming back in Echo.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. They're very related to that character. So yes and no. Next, Loki Season 2. I'm all on board with that.
Very excited.
Very excited on that.
It's my favorite TV show of the MCU.
It is my favorite Disney Plus TV, Marvel Disney Plus TV show. Absolutely, by far. Another one's up close for me. So I'm looking forward to that. Of course, the Marvels, which I'm more excited about now after watching Ms. Marvel. I think that's going to be kind of a cool thing.
Definitely.
Definitely better than I didn't love Captain Marvel. So I'm hoping that this will help boost that whole thing. But there's a lot of cast members in here that are looking forward to.
Okay, can we talk Ms. Marvel spoilers really quickly?
Sure.
Just have you seen this, Maddie?
Yeah.
Okay. The final episode, very final spoilers for Ms. Marvel. The very final scene where spoilers again. Anyone who hasn't watched it? Captain Marvel showing up.
Yeah.
What the fuck was it? Did she transform from her?
Negative zone. Is it negative zone bands that she's wearing?
Like she turned into Captain Marvel. What was that all about?
I'm not entirely certain, to be honest with you. I don't know. I mean, I think it was really Captain Marvel. Because I actually had a question to ask Kelsey about this. Because I was like, Kelsey, what did you think about this? I don't know. Did she become Captain Marvel? But she didn't seem to she just seemed to be more worried about where she was than who she was. So I think that it was really Captain Marvel. Maybe for a different timeline, maybe from a different.
I think I saw Koi say something about like when the bands hit each other, like the two of them swap places.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I never really read a whole lot about Ms. Marvel, so I didn't know much about the whole negative. I knew a little bit about the negative bands, but that makes sense to me. Okay, cool.
All right.
Cool enough. All right. Blade, of course, is coming out, which we're all excited about that.
This needs more. This needs to happen sooner. It needs to happen sooner.
Not so. Was it November 2023?
The only weird thing is like, how is Blade gonna fit into like all the other superheroes? As awesome as badass as he is, he's still just a dude with a sword.
We'll find out. Let's see. We got Ironheart, which I probably won't know much more about. I don't know much about Ironheart, but I'm interested to see what they did with it. Announced their fall. Of course, Agatha, Covenant of Chaos. I'm kind of sour on that. Maybe because WandaVision was so long ago. Like WandaVision was the first Marvel Disney Plus series. I'm kind of feeling like I don't know if I loved the character. I loved Catherine Hahn in that role, so I should love this more. But like,
and without Wanda now,
is it without
what's
Wanda?
The point?
That's
it has.
I don't know.
Someone has to be
back
in there
somehow. So I wonder if Wanda's going to come back with this somehow potentially. maybe she brings Wanda back. Maybe she gets Wanda back, and that might be the whole story. There's potential here. I'm not excited about it. I feel like this is a project I will get excited about more when I see more.
I know he's a vampire. That's true.
So we'll find out.
He's a vampire.
Yes, he is. I wasn't correct. I was going to move on.
He's the Daywalker.
The Daywalker. Okay.
Some fool still. What was that line? Some assholes still try to skate uphill. Skate uphill.
Skate uphill. That's right. Of course, Daredevil. We talked about. We're excited about that. Each episode of Daredevil. That's gonna be awesome. Captain America: New World Order. I'm excited to see Sam Wilson's first outing. Captain America and Winter Soldier's the show. Falcon and Winter Soldier, where it becomes Captain America again. It was okay. It was not my favorite of the Marvel shows.
Wyatt Russell, I thought, was the best part of that show.
We got Dancing Nemo.
And we did get Dancing Nemo. I mean, there was some good stuff. I did not like it.
And shout out to Chris Evans as well.
Zemo. Did I say Nemo?
Yeah, you did say Nemo.
There was a whole bunch of fucking racist shit going about Sam Wilson becoming Captain America.
Fuck those people.
To the point where Chris Evans tweeted out saying Sam Wilson's Captain America.
Yeah, and Chris Evans is telling you something. Like, you better fucking listen. I mean, the funny thing is, like, I understand some part of it because, like, Chris Evans, like, Steve Rogers has always been my Captain America, and that's fine. But like, I'm not like against seeing Sam Wilson as Captain America. That's the legitimacy of how the comic book stories go, and that's fine. He is the one character that should like. There's a lot of talk, like a lot of times, where like a lot of racist and a lot of sexist things goes on about like the females or people of color taking over for a white man's role or whatever. And there's sometimes it doesn't make sense. I agree. It doesn't like kind of like weird. It's like, well, why bother? But in this case, it actually absolutely made 110% case to me because Sam Wilson has been his sidekick forever in the comics. So if someone's going to take over that role, it would be Sam Wilson becoming Captain America. That makes complete sense, and it's perfect to have a black man as Captain America. What a great story! What a great moment to go through at this point. It makes perfect sense.
Just thought of something: how they could bring Chris Evans back as a Captain America if we're doing the multiverse thing. There was a comic line where Captain America was in fact a Hydra agent the entire time.
Yeah.
What if we get that Captain America?
That'd be interesting.
Face off Sam Wilson.
That's what I'm talking about. Also, like Steve Rogers goes around in Captain America, like in the comics, like there's still Steve Rogers goes around in a Captain America uniform. Sometimes he just has his mask off. Sometimes you just call him the Captain. You can have multiple Captain America. That's fine. That's not, as long as Sam Wilson is the Captain America, then that's what you're going to go with.
Did he get the serum though in the end of the series? He didn't, right?
I don't know. He did not. So he's still more of a normal.
So he does need to get the serum though, because he's still pretty much like Falcon, just dressed up as Captain America when it comes to like his physicality. I mean,
yeah, I don't think he's going to get the serum. I think he's going to be just Falcon as Captain America. I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be more about the theme and more of the image than it is about anything else. I think honestly, that's what's going to happen. And that's okay. That's okay.
He needs the juice. Give him the juice.
He made a big deal about not taking the juice.
I know. But he needs to give him the juice.
So we'll have to find out.
Write him up.
It's why I did going back. I think it's why I did have a weird. I always had a weird thing about Jane Foster as Thor, only because like to me like it's the power of Thor, but we're gonna call her Thor. Like that's the dude's name. Right. Like, that's the dude's. That's like saying, you get my power, you're just gonna start calling Jarvie PLD. I mean, like this doesn't make any sense. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Oh god.
But I like Jane Foster's character. I love that character.
If Kim wasn't sitting next to you, I would have made a really bad joke.
The two of you just switch hats, and then like you become POD and you become Jarvie.
Oh, I should get the Queen hat and just put it on for a show.
That'd be nice. That'd be fucking sweet.
Just order it.
And finally, we're ending up with the Thunderbolts, which I'm all in on. I'm very excited.
So, what is that? That's the one thing I'm.
Thunderbolts is basically the Marvel Universe version of Suicide Squad. To a degree, it's a bunch of like in the comics. They had all these bad guys. They dressed them up into different costumes and gave them different code names, but they were supposedly fighting for good overall. There's actually a case where it depends on which version they kind of use. At one point, they were like using their good graces to do bad things. But a lot of times, they eventually became just bad guys rehabbing into good guys. A lot of cool things though about it. I think you'll see. I mean, Hawkeye actually led up the team at one point. And they had some cool moments. I think you're going to see a lot of cool things. They're setting it up a little bit already they set it up kind of like in the postseason when Julia Louis-Dreyfus came in and she got
is she Madam Hydra?
I think she's Madam Hydra the way that's part of it. So Wyatt Russell would be the Captain America of the team. He'd be the captain or whatever, a U.S. agent. You'll probably get characters like that. You'll probably see. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Yelena as like the Black Widow in that kind of thing. I will say also the funny thing is I did go viral for a tweet the other day, semi-viral.
Oh, I
for a
saw
tweet.
this. I saw this. I saw this.
Because the head of it was Thunderbolt Ross, William Thunderbolt Ross, and obviously he was played by William Hurt in the MCU. Now you could go the multiverse angle and bring, obviously you could bring Mustache himself. When I'm blank on so many names today. I'm so fucking tired.
What do you mean?
Sam Elliott. Thank you, Kim. Sam Elliott, who was in Hulk, in the Hulk movie, the Ang Lee Hulk movie.
Sam Elliott.
But I definitely did say I went with a little other choice. And if you know me, you're not going to be surprised by that choice. Let's be honest, for your consideration.
All right, we almost made it. We're so close. We were so close.
Well, let's be honest, though. Come on, Ed Harris would be the perfect choice to beat Thunderbolt Ross. Like that's what I think everybody has said. I hate you for doing it, but you're so goddamn right.
While we're casting for Thunderbolts, correct me if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Crossbones one of the Thunderbolts?
I think at some point.
Frank Grillo?
Frank
Grillo.
I think he was at some point. I lost track on. I never read all of Thunderbolts.
Is Deadpool in the Thunderbolts? Yeah.
But it makes sense that it would make sense that he is at some point. I'd be sure.
Because he didn't die, did he? I don't think Crossbones died.
No,
does it matter if he did?
No, they did kill him. I think it was Steve Rogers or Wanda who killed him.
Yeah, but does it matter if he does?
That's true.
We didn't see the body.
We could make it work. But either way, that's the Thunderbolts is the end of phase 5, so to speak, and that's how we ended up. And I think that's going to be a great ending. I love that ending. Mm-hmm. Real quick, let's get into phase 6 before I give you those lists of other names. Phase 6, they've only announced 3 movies. Mm-hmm. Left a lot to be shown later on. Of course, the first one is Fantastic Four, finally announced November 8th, 2024.
Yeah, this is very interesting.
This is way more interesting than the previous phase, I'll be honest, even if it's only 3 movies.
Well, okay. Interesting enough, and they don't give him anything else. There's nothing else to talk about with it. They're just this is the date. No director, no actors, don't know what's going on. So there it is. And then of course we are ending phase 6 with not one, but 2 Avengers movies in May of 2025
6 months.
and November 2025.
6 months.
Wow.
Something clicked in my brain with the title being Kang Dynasty.
The first one, the Avengers Kang Dynasty, and the second one, Avengers Secret Wars.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
Kang Dynasty's first.
One of Kang's identities was Nathaniel Richards, Reed Richards' dad.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's very interesting that they're starting with Fantastic Four and then the Kang Dynasty being the next big Avengers level thing with the Fantastic Four in play.
I think it's going to be
Secret Wars is after Kang Dynasty. Oh, sorry.
I said the other way. First.
I said the other way.
Yeah. So that's all. That's all that was really announced. We did get an announcement today that the director of the Kang Dynasty is Daniel Cretton, the director from Shang Chi. He's directing the first Avengers.
I thought you said Daniel Craig.
No.
Daniel Craig's going to be playing the Thing.
Huh? Yeah, Destin Daniel Cretton. I'm sorry, this is for Destin. I always forget it's Destin Daniel Cretton. One of those 3 names. He directed the hell out of Shang Chi, so I'm excited about that. It's potential. I like seeing directors kind of build up like that. They did say the Russos will not be coming back for Secret Wars, despite the recent talk about they wanted to potentially.
Could be coming back for something else, though. That was the one comment that they made. Is that they're talking to them for something else.
So we'll have to see what that means. But I'm excited as all hell. We're getting 2 Marvel movies, and the VFX houses are not very excited about that. Let's be honest.
Is Krazynski coming back though? Because there was they did show him, but
I don't think he is. I think that was like a
just a multiverse thing,
a trolling of the fans, a joke of the fans kind of thing. I don't think he's going to be in it now. PJ, good to see you.
PJ, what's up?
I do think who was I thinking it is going to be? I do think we'll see I do think we'll see Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, and I do think we'll see Sir Patrick Stewart again.
Oh, in those multiverse things, potentially, absolutely during the Secret Wars, absolutely, potentially. Yeah. I think we're going to get all new Fantastic Four, though. I think they're going to be people we know about. I just don't think we're going to see. I don't think we're going to know anything about it. Although I know there are rumors that Jason Segel was playing the Thing in the She-Hulk show.
Sick.
So I don't know if that's going to carry over.
Sick.
I don't know. So, but here we go. We are running out of time. I'm going to read off the list that I found of these were names, or these were trademarked names. I can find the list now that were announced. There you go. Or not announced. They were trademark titles. And this is all released like the week before Comic-Con, that week of Comic-Con, so to speak. So I don't know what that means necessarily. Some of the names you're going to know. Some of these names you don't know. So have your thoughts. Full list that was trademarked. Avengers Secret Wars. Oh, that was announced. Avengers the Kang Dynasty. Oh, that was announced. Captain America New World Order. That was announced. Thunderbolts was announced. Captain America Red, White, and Black. That sounds like it might be a game.
That's
potentially.
I swear that's a comic run.
I think it is as well.
I think it is.
So unless that, or do we get a separate Captain America storyline? I wonder if we could have a Captain America movie and a Captain America Disney Plus series, a different Captain America, like not with Steven Rogers, maybe even the Isaiah Bradley storyline, like from Captain America Winter Soldier, Isaiah Bradley 1950s Captain America story. Something that could be done. I'll toss some other things in there. Got Avengers Eternity Wars. I don't know if that's something that's going to be in the future. Maybe that's a Phase 7 story. Maybe that's the end of the Phase 7 storyline, potentially.
Is that about the Eternals, or is it something else?
Avengers Eternity, like the dude from Thor: Love and Thunder.
All right,
Cosmic Power. So I don't know if
there's nothing really about. Do you think the Eternals are done completely?
I'm going to get there. There's actually something about the Eternals.
Oh, sorry.
There's actually some. We'll get there though. There's Midnight Suns, which is a comic storyline. Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Things.
Hell yeah.
It's a more street level, dark side of the Marvel universe. I think it'd be, if they're going to do it, then they're going to do it in Disney Plus. I think
because you got Ghost Rider, you got Morbius. Oh god, we've got Morbius.
Yes, bring Jared.
Cast someone else's Morbius. Blade, Hannibal King,
Johnny Blaze, Werewolf by Night. Iron Fist is in there as well. So a lot of cool things. PJ is saying it's a movie. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's got a lot more potential as a Disney Plus TV show. I think there's a lot of characters you can weave in and out of a TV show. But we'll see. Red Guardian Generations. I think that could probably be a Disney Plus show. Spinning off
Red Guardian. Is that from Black Widow?
Yes.
Yeah, David Harbour.
Yeah, David Harbour. I could see that being a Disney Plus show. Runaways New Era. That sounds like a Disney Plus show as well. So
Are there a lot of running going on? This is where you get like Jarvis' expertise, because I don't really read the comics.
Right. I just watch them. I've never read a lot of the Runaways. It actually was a TV series before that was set by the game. So I don't know if the Runaways New Era was a Hulu original. And it has like a lot of the younger kids of I think it's teenagers. Let's see. Yeah, they're criminals. The parents are the kids of like evildoers in the Marvel universe. And they kind of team up and like fight their parents and things like that. It's kind of a strange little storyline, but it's kind of fun. I don't know if they're going to do that. I think that seems like a TV series, obviously a sequel to it.
Yeah.
But we'll find out. Peter's saying it can be both. That's the point. Build the characters. Yeah, that I could agree with. I think we're going to start with the TV show first. It might eventually lead to a movie. Absolutely, I could totally see that. Absolutely, that's a good point, PJ. Nomad, but I think that was actually trademarked a long time ago, so I don't know if that's ever going to happen or not. It might be a way to do more of the Bucky storyline on his own.
I need more Bucky.
I would love more Bucky.
I need more Bucky.
Let's see. We got Shang Chi and the Wreckage of Time.
Well, that's what I was wondering. There's nothing. They should bring in Shang Chi earlier.
I think he's going to be a movie, and I think he's going to be in Phase 6. I
saw on Simu Liu's Instagram story the other day. He is back in training,
fighting shape.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like news. He's always been in shape, but like he's doing like serious shit to get in like movie shape.
Bucky and Thunderbolts makes sense. I mean, yeah, Shang-Chi. I think he's going to be pre-Avengers.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, Crichton's not going to direct it because he's directing the Avengers. So I bet Crichton will be writing it. I know. Sean. Did I say Shang? I'm sorry.
You said Shang. You said Shang.
All right, I'm
bringing Jackie Chan.
Be cool.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
What else? We got a few more here. We got the Black Knight Origins. That actually has more like a comic.
Is that Martin Lawrence, the Black Knight?
I mean,
is he coming back?
That makes sense with Kit Harington.
Yeah, with Dane Whitman, it could be something to do with Black. Maybe it's just the Black. I don't know why they call it Origins, unless they're going to do an Origins show. Maybe they'll do an Origins show where each year is a different character. That could be something I do for Disney Plus potentially. Maybe the Black Knight's the first one they decided to go with. That's possibly it.
That's the legend of the Black Knight.
We got Avengers Academy. That I wonder if that's their Marvel version of Young Avengers. Marvel been kind of building towards the Young Avengers for a bit, and Avengers Academy is similar. It's like they teach younger heroes the way to go, so I could see it being the Marvel version of Young Avengers. Avengers Timeless. That seems like it might be a game for me, maybe, or maybe potentially a
like a mobile app game or something
like that. Avengers Excursion, same type of thing. I don't know.
A lot of Avengers titles in here. Some of these have to be games, or
that's what I'm saying, something to that effect. Or I don't know, the Timeless Saga.
That sounds like could be something huge, could be nothing.
Right. The Eternity Saga, which makes me think that might be if this is the Multiverse Saga, the Eternity Saga will be the next phase saga, so to speak.
Means you're going to be waiting a while for Hercules.
Sam Wilson, Captain America, which that seems to me must be maybe either a game or like
cartoon,
or a cartoon potentially,
or just trademarking the character of Sam Wilson, Captain America.
And
there you go,
Hercules, Rise of the Gods. I'm getting a Hercules show. That's what I'm hoping anyway. I mean, I bet it would be, again, I agree, will likely be a show first, be a Disney show first, a Disney Plus show. Because the actor playing him is very TV famous right now. The other pitch I
do
did
need
have
Crow back as well, though.
The other, yes. But I think Russell Crowe would do Disney Plus series at this point. I think
do you think he'd do it
100,000%? You say, Russell, hey, you got a weekend or two. Here's a couple mil. Sure, I'll be there. I think
the catering's all there. The food, everything.
Exactly.
We've got the food.
There. Exactly.
I'm sorry, that was mean.
I do think Hercules Rise of the Gods will be a Disney Plus show, although I do pivot and say I wonder if it is a movie, because instead of getting a Thor 5, which has not been announced or not been talked about, not even trademarked, what if Thor will return? They said at the end of Love and Thunder, Thor will return, and it's Thor will return ... in Hercules Rise of the Gods. And so Hercules hijacks the Thor film series. It becomes a Hercules series. Thor is like the sidekick in that to a degree. And like Hercules becomes, because it's funny, there's actually precedent for it in Marvel Comics. In Marvel Comics, Incredible Hulk had a comic book series. And right after World War Hulk was done, it went from the Incredible Hulk to the Incredible Hulk. And Hulk actually took over the title, the numbering and everything.
I hope you get everything you want.
Also, I want Kevin Sorbo in there somehow. Somehow.
I think that happened with his Twitter, his
well,
place.
is he canceled?
He's a very red,
really okay. I had no clue.
Yeah, he's a very red
no
guy.
clue.
He's not going to be in there. I don't think at this point. Disney Plus not going to touch him. If they got rid of Gina Carano, they're not going to touch Kevin Sorbo.
All right, I had no idea. I seriously, Sean, I had no idea he was canceled.
But either way, I think Hercules would be done best. I think obviously I've already pitched what's going to happen. Zeus is going to send Hercules after Thor. Eventually, he's going to find Thor. He's going to whoop Thor's ass a little bit. Love will intervene, and Hercules will go, "Oh, this is a good dude. And then Hercules and Thor will team up, and they'll go back and they have to fight. Zeus will get pissed that Herc didn't follow his rules, and he'll send Ares out after them. So it would be Herc and Thor versus Ares or Pluto potentially.
If Harry says Ares, I'd love that.
Don't, Gavi, don't. Why?
He's the general of war.
Ares would be up there, and it'd be General Ed Harris on top of Olympus. You're down there. I'm up here in Olympus.
You walked into the wrong goddamn mountain.
All right. I did say that obviously for the end for myself. I'm excited about it. I hope that it does happen. I hope it's not. I mean, even if it's a comic, I'm excited because I love reading Hercules comics. But
I mean, before we get out of here, there is one other thing.
Okay, there's one thing I want to talk about.
The one thing that we didn't talk about that Maddie wanted to save for last.
Oh my god, that's right. That's why we saved it for last. I
We
totally forgot
totally
about it because I saw it as like number 2.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna give the floor to Maddie at this point. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Donnie Yen is finally getting the goddamn respect that he deserves, not just as a martial artist, but as an actor. Going back and watching that trailer, just seeing him sitting there, and once again he's playing a blind man, like he did when he played Jared Emway. He's just sitting in the corner, just looking all cool and nonchalant with like a white turtleneck thing and the sunglasses on. Just look cool as fuck. You had Bill Skarsgård. Who was sitting next to him?
Bill Skarsgård's there.
Bill
Yep.
Skarsgård. It was like, okay, you can put me back down now. I want to see you guys reacting as I'm talking here. Bill Skarsgård sitting right next to him. You got Keanu Reeves there. That whole cast is amazing. And then you put Donnie fucking Yen in there. And it's just like, oh my God. And then you've got like Lawrence Fishburne being like, are you ready, John? And Keanu just like, yeah.
Yeah,
like
but
doing the
nothing
thing.
else. You thought he's going to say, yeah,
He
I'm ready,
throws
but
the
no.
fucking axe, the throwing axe at the dude's head in the middle of a club, and people are still like dancing away like fucking nothing's happening while the dude's just got like an axe between the eyes, and people are just like, yeah, woo, this is great. And then I went back and I rewatched this segment.
Damn it.
But yeah. I mean, I wasn't done. I
wanted you guys
okay.
to not mention him just to piss off PJ. Why did you?
I had to do it.
I wasn't done, but okay. But I went back and I rewatched the sequence like, I don't know, 20 times. So I had to be sure I was seeing what I was seeing.
The one with the sword?
Donnie Yen is blocking bullets with a fucking katana. Not only that, and I know we got Clancy Brown, Hiroyuki Sanada is in this fucking movie. Do you know how long I have dreamed of watching Hiroyuki Sanada and Donnie Yen go at it on screen? It's never happened before. It's two that I've been like, oh, what would happen? How would that look? And I get to see those two go at it with katanas. I'm just like, yes. This is exactly.
Maybe Tom Cruise pops up.
No, we don't need. I love DC, but we don't need him right now. Let Donnie Yen have his moment. I feel like Donnie Yen's probably going to outshine Keanu in this movie.
Well, you love Donnie Yen though, so let's be honest. You would say that no matter what was going on, Donnie Yen would outshine everybody. So
Donnie Yen or Keanu, Maddie?
Donnie Yen.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I think Donnie Yen is the most underrated actor on the planet, not just for martial arts, but like go and watch some of his dramatic roles. He is fucking incredible.
Donnie Yen or Steven Seagal?
Like, that's like asking me if I want to shit in my hands and clap.
No, I agree. I saw the trailer. I was very excited about it. I mean, it did show. It was exactly what I wanted John Wick trailer to be. It was exciting. It was fun. Didn't get a whole lot of story, but it's his first teaser, obviously.
You don't need it.
I mean, you don't really, honestly. Clancy Brown, I did love Clancy Brown in the trailer. I got to point this out. He's missing a finger, so obviously he's been excommunicado, just like what. And so he's kind of like there's going to be this. I think it's going to be he's going to be a resource for Keanu, obviously. I love the idea. Yeah, the resource that's interesting too. Brown maybe hunting Wick is interesting. That could be a potential thing too.
Yeah, because he's like he has the note with the emblem of the Continental on it.
Right,
so he's working.
Maybe he can get back in that way. Maybe that's the idea to a degree, potentially. I would be surprised if they go either way, though. I wouldn't be surprised if Clancy Brown eventually becomes a resource for him to a degree. I would be surprised. Like, I've done this before. This is how you can get around it or that kind of thing at some point. I don't know. We'll have to say.
Is the Continental series still happening?
I don't know. I haven't heard about it in a while.
Nothing about it.
I know the ballerina with Ana de Armas is.
Yes, that is
right. That one's coming. One of the biggest things in this trailer for me that I'm most hyped about. The dogs are back. The dogs are friggin' back. They are wrecking shit up again. No, Halle Berry. She might not be in there, but the dogs, yes. Give me dogs. Don't kill the fucking dogs. Don't you dare hurt the dogs.
This is Halloween. They're not going to kill.
I thought that's what he did because, like, the dog jumps up and you see the gunshot and the blood spray. I had to rewind and double check it was the guy that got shot and not the dog.
Don't do this to me.
No, it was the guy that got shot, but I had to, like, double check because I thought the dog got shot. I was like, shit.
No.
So PJ said the Continental was 3 movies now, 3 90-minute movies instead of a series. Interesting. I'll just see that as well.
Interesting.
All right, guys. We have run very much over what we usually do. I'm not going to lie, so I can't stand
we
around
weren't
too
there
much.
last week, so
We weren't there last week, so we are making up for lost time. That's true. And we'll talk about what happened next week. Next week, we'll go talk behind the scenes at some point and figuring out what we're going to do. But until then, Maddie, where can the folks find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Matty Gunner, Instagram Matty_Gunner. You can find me here every Tuesday with PLD and Richard Eric Jarvie for Class Action. Every Thursday and Sunday on the Wild Jones Podcast Network for the ONU MMA show. And you can find my new band Mourner on all DSPs, digital streaming platforms. Our new song, The Cracks Beneath, is out. Please go check it out. I worked my ass off on it. So yeah, that's me.
And you, Jarvie.
You can find me on Twitter, but you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Richard Eric with a K Jarvie. Wow, I messed that up. First time that's happened. It's the COVID. That's why I've been coughing through this entire show. Yeah, check me out on Instagram and Facebook, and of course here weekly with these two gentlemen.
Great. You can find me at Paul_Denuzio on Twitter. You can find me here every week on Class Action. Well, every week when we go. You usually can find me every week on Crown and Jewels. I had so much of a tough weekend this weekend. I didn't get a chance to record that as well. So Crown and Jewels will return next week. I did get a chance last night to record 2 Mediocre White Dudes on Film with aforementioned PJ Campbell. So you can expect that episode tomorrow, Halloween, for Return of Michael Myers. It's a great episode. We also talked about Comic-Con a little bit there as well. And also you can join us on Patreon, patreon.com/PLD projects. We have also patrons like Danielle Ramirez, Brandon Buckingham, Brandy Parker, Jeff Alterman, John Lustrina, Kelly W., and the rest of us. Get some extra content, some Doctor Who shows that PJ and I do. And debuting this Sunday, either 10:30 or 11 Eastern. I haven't discussed entirely what time it is. It's going to be a patron exclusive show, but we're going to have the first one just be live and out there. It's additional Halloween content. We read this book called Taking Shape 2, which develops like 24 or 25 sequels that were unproduced in the Halloween universe, scripts that were put forth, pitches that were put forth that weren't made, and PJ are going to go through them. On the first episode, we're going to talk about everything about Halloween 4, what would have been Halloween 4, or the possibilities that would have been Halloween 4 that didn't make the screen. It's a lot of fun. We're going to have talking about those as well. Of course, Action Industries help produce for Ben and Drew's show. They had a great show again last night. Ben's tour is going on, so it's been kind of a little sporadic here and there. And of course, I started from the movie Trivia Schmodown. Spectacular is coming, so it's going to be spectacular. So anyway, that's it for now. I want to tell you thanks, guys, for showing up. Thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit, and we'll let you know what's happening next week soon, and we will go from there. Until next time, justice has been served.
Well, it hasn't, though.
So, yeah, it's kind of weird. So it's kind of weird to do that title.
Court is adjourned.
Court is adjourned. We'll do that. Court has been adjourned. Definitely court is adjourned.